Okay, then we are back. I'm gonna do another. I'm gonna continue off of the tier list from last time. This time with this season, like covering the season two combatants, and we're gonna be starting with He-Man versus Shazam. I like this one. I think it would be a very fun for He-Man to come back, especially with how relevant his new movie was, and I don't know. Maybe I just really like the idea of He-Man. I don't know. He-Man is cool. I like He-Man. Next up is Shao Kahn versus Gargos from Killer Instinct. I'm gonna put this one in C tier, but I really do think it's a fun idea to have these two, like, I don't know, warlords. Is that the right term? That feels right. I don't know. Um, Next is Luigi versus Pac-Man. There's a good reason as to why this should happen besides Felix versus Pac-Man. Probably I don't know. I want Pac-Man to be in Death Battle. I also like the idea of Luigi getting a different episode because he maybe not to the same extreme as Bakugo, but he has a lot of potential for like matchups that he can fight or he can Jinkies, you know what I mean. I would put this right here. Because Luigi versus Shaggy might also just be a really fun idea to like consider. I would think. um, yeah, this one's a really fun idea. Oh yeah, I should put He-Man versus shit. Where should I put this? Put it, like right here. And while I'm at it, I can like do this as well. But Luigi versus Shaggy is more of a fun idea on the whole like ghost hunting aspect because I feel like Luigi is more than just a ghost hunter, but he's also more than just a coward, I think, and Luigi definitely has his moments. So Pac-Man or Shaggy could definitely work. It's hard to say which one I prefer, but I think I'll put this one just above Luigi versus Pac-Man because yeah, I like the idea of I don't know Shaggy being in a death battle and then like pulling the Toon Force stuff that he does. I would hope that they would treat Shaggy's character not like he's a Saiyan or anything. Next up is Charizard versus Rathalos. This is a more recent idea that I've come across, and I really like the idea of Charizard getting a chance to actually win a death battle. Unfortunately, I can't find any or maybe I didn't look hard enough for any good enough matchups for Mega Man or Captain Marvel, but Charizard versus Rathalos makes a lot of sense to me. Funny enough, is also going like right there. Maybe I should like this little like right there maybe. Um, yeah, I'm not the best with organizing stuff, but if I had to like do it like this way, then I think it'd be fine. Charizard versus Rathalos would be a fun idea. I don't like I don't know. I haven't like I don't think I've played a Monster Hunter game, but I just know Rathalos through Smash Brothers, and I know that's pretty boring of me or whatever, nerdy shit, whatever. But I really do think it would be a fun matchup, and maybe to finally give Charizard a win, unless there's some bullshit in Monster Hunter that gives Rathalos the edge. Next up is Bowser versus Godzilla, and at first it seems pretty basic and like bare uh, and just like yeah it's just two giant monsters, but like it makes a lot of sense to me that like I think they should do that one because I they both have ways to like I don't know how far like the extreme could be pushed with the two like Bowser and Goji being able to what is it that they do? They're both able to delete the other from existence if they want to, but I feel like Godzilla would still take the edge given how Ultima can just warp reality in a in a different way than Bowser can with the dreamy Bowser form that he takes, which I think is from Mario and Luigi Dream Team. That sounds right. Next is Captain America versus Kamen Rider Ichigo. And while I'm not too familiar with I'm not familiar with Kamen Rider at all, but it is the perfect Captain America matchup for me. And I think just putting it at the bottom of S tier is is a good way to go about it. I think. I don't know. I would love to see Captain America. Maybe top of A tier. It's not like my most wanted matchup or anything. Not even remotely close. But there are a lot of good matchups out there. Next is Ryu from Street Fighter versus Kenshiro from Fist of the North Star. Another recent one I came across that I really like. I think I really do think that Kenshiro wins, but there's probably like a way that Ryu can distance himself better unless I'm just pulling that out of my ass. Um but like Ryu does have like projectiles, so there could be a way to do that, but I really don't think Ryu could beat Kenshiro. Again, I don't know anything about Fist of the North Star. Um so it's probably yeah, it's probably fine. I mean, here works. Next is great. Next is the composite Ryu versus composite Goku. And I don't know how controversial this would be, but I'm gonna put it like right around here, maybe here. I'll put it here because I don't hate the idea. I really do like um hell I think I like it better than Vegeta versus DDD, but I like the idea of taking everything in and out of their canon and giving them everything that they've ever done ever, and then just making them fight. That's a that's a pretty cool idea. But like, because of course, if we were to only use their canon abilities, then Goku would mop or like wipe the floor with Ryu. I'm not good at phrasing or scripting. Scorpion versus Wolf. Um, never played Sekiro, but it looks like it could be a lot of fun to bring Scorpion back on the show. I think I think it would be a lot of. I think it'd be really cool to see this. I just like the idea of like the. I don't know what it is about Scorpion that I really love, but he's just a great character. I think. Next is Deadpool versus Gintoki or Jintoki. I don't know how to pronounce it. From Gintama or Gintama. I don't know how to pronounce that either. But but yeah, I wouldn't hate if Deadpool were to come back to the show, but I feel like Gintoki would be I'm just gonna call him that. Would be an interesting match for Deadpool, and maybe I don't know. Give I mean Deadpool's episodes were good. Like they can they can have fun with both characters. I feel like that's another thing that they can do. Next is Taskmaster versus Deathstroke, and I feel like this one doesn't get talked about enough. It feels kind of underrated to me, but as what do I know? They yeah, it could be a lot of fun. Like I don't know what all they do. I know that like Deaths I know some of Deathstroke's weapons via Deadpool versus Deathstroke, but as for Taskmaster, all I know is that he can like copy someone's like way of fighting. I think that's what it is. But outside of that, I think it's just another fun Marvel versus DC matchup that I think would be a fun watch. Next is Kirby versus Rimuru Tempest. From That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. That is the name of the thing. But I like this one over Kirby's other matchups, like Mario and Ditto and even Majin Buu. I think this one would be great because of like I don't know how to scale properly, but I think Kirby versus Rimuru would be a whole of a lot, hell of a lot, whole of a, it would be a lot of fun. I'm gonna put it just right before Shadow versus Vincent. Guts from Berserk versus Claire from Claymore. Um, I don't know much about. I don't know too much about Guts other than what he can do with like the big sword, and he's also got a couple weapons as well as the armor and all that. But besides that, I just like I haven't seen Berserk, and I know a lot less about Claymore. Um, but I would probably put it like right there, maybe even here. There we go. Um, Ragna the Blood Edge from Blaze Blue versus Velvet Crow from Tales of Berseria. This one is I've only played one Blaze Blue game, and since I'm not good at fighting games, I only know a little bit about Ragna's power, and I don't know anything about the Tales of series. So, but I really think it'd be cool to see. I like to think of how characters would interact. So I'm gonna put it like right before Luigi versus Shaggy. Um, Next is a bit. Well, it's not the most out of pocket idea. The Man in the Suit versus Iron Man from the Darkhold universe. I really do like this one. It is a analog horror Godzilla versus the Darkhold version of Iron Man, and I think it'd be a very interesting thing to introduce to Death Battle. Analog horror, that is. I really think they should definitely consider it. If they want to, that's up to them. But there's a good chance that they might do Amori versus Room. Um, and if that ever happens, then we might get like the chance of them doing like Doctor Manhattan versus Richard Nixon, or um, what was the other one I like? Sin versus Gabriel. But next is Darth Vader versus Lich King. This one, I guess it kind of makes sense. I don't know. It probably doesn't make as much sense as Vader versus Obito, but I think it would be a fun fight nonetheless. The Again, don't know much about either. Like even with my own experiences, I don't know too much about most of these now that I think about it. Um, Doctor Doom versus Gilgamesh from the Fate series is probably the Doctor Doom matchup I would have wanted had I known about this matchup sooner. But I think Lex versus Doom was incredible, and I think they would do a great job with Doctor Doom versus Gilgamesh. I'm gonna put it. I'm noticing I'm putting a lot of like these like next to each other. I'm gonna I'm gonna put it here. Fuck. I'm gonna put it right there. Next is another matchup that I've grown that has grown on me, similar to Bowser versus Godzilla. Donkey Kong versus King Kong, I think would be well. I'm gonna be 100%. I love big hairy primates. Or what? Like, okay, that sounds weird. I like primates. I'm really into the idea of like I need to, dude. The phrasing is how do I phrase this? Because that sounds insane. What is it? It's I think I think they're cool. There, I did it. I beat the game. Uh, Donkey Kong versus King Kong as an idea is cool, and even with Donkey Kong Bonanza, I'm not 100% sure if. Oh, I guess they could bring Pauline and King Kong's. I don't know. I haven't seen New Empire, but like his son, his baby, I forget the name. It's probably like Kuba or something. I don't know that. I don't know, but I think it would make for a fun fight. And I absolutely love Donkey Kong and the stuff. Yeah, I love Donkey Kong and all that, and I think two apes fighting would be a fun watch. Next is Piccolo versus Knuckles. Um, from what I understand, well, you know what, I don't have to understand to appreciate a matchup. I really think this one is cool as hell, and so by that logic, it goes there. Um, Next is Archie Knuckles versus Juggernaut, and this is my most wanted for Juggernaut, and it makes the most sense for Archie Knuckles, so it is my most wanted for both. I do want to put something in S tier. I really do. I want to say that this should go right there. Just punch after punch. That's probably one of the best moves to ever be conceived. Next is Yang Xiaolong versus Katsuki Bakugo. One of the many Bakugo matchups that he has. I really do love this one, and I think it could be a really fun fight. I'm not too sure where to put it, but S tier is definitely where it goes. And finally, this was unexpectedly short, I know, but I don't give a dang. Next is Tifa Lockhart versus Queen or Makoto Nijima from Persona 5. Um, I think this one would be a lot of fun. It's also grown on me a bit. I like the idea of them fighting to the death, as I should, because that's what this is for. Um, where the heck is the cursor? There it is. I need to change the batteries in this flicking mouse. But Tifa versus Queen would be a lot of fun, especially for like a Persona fight. And I know that they've done a couple of Final Fantasy VII fights already, if I can recall four. But if this were to be the fifth one, I would not be disappointed. But like Yoshi versus Chocobo and Rayquaza versus Bahamut would also be fun ideas. And Shult versus Lightning, almost forgot about that one. But Tifa versus Queen, I think would be great. This is what the tier list looks like now. I'll probably do this again tomorrow if I feel like it. But yeah, that's really about it.